Hello and welcome to Your Call. It's the one show on Indian television where you, the viewer, can also ask your questions directly to the newsmaker of the week. Tonight, a man who spent most of his life away from the media limelight, working tirelessly in an India far removed from the headlines in tribal Chhattisgarh, till he was charged with sedition for being a Naxal sympathizer and found himself convicted and sentenced to life imprisonment. The sentence evoked outrage around the world and in India. The Supreme Court gave him bail and said there was no proof of this. But still within the security establishment in Chhattisgarh, many feel he should not have been released. He's a hero for some, raises troubling questions for others. The man himself joins us tonight, Dr. Binayak Sen. Thank you so much for coming in tonight, sir.
Thank you.
The whole campaign to free Binayak Sen became a national and international issue.
Yeah.
Did that surprise you? Some people have said that Binayak Sen is no longer seen as a person. He's seen as a symbol of a larger movement.
Yes.
What has that been like for you, and how are you using that to focus on the key issues you've worked for your whole life?
Well, as you said yourself, and which I agree with totally, I have always lived away from media attention until 4 years ago, when this case came upon me. I was totally reconciled and happily reconciled to a life in which nobody would know my name. So that was the reality of the situation until 4 years ago. Mm-hmm. It is only after this case was instituted that people started knowing about me, and the protests against the kind of case that I had to confront became attained, as you said again, national and international status. Mm-hmm. So this is now, I am out on bail. My trial is still continuing in the Chhattisgarh High Court. But in the meantime, we feel that a number of issues have been raised by the issues surrounding my incarceration. Mm-hmm. And I'm much more interested. I'm of course interested in having people support my case in the court, mm-hmm. but I'm much more interested. I regard myself as an instrument of raising these issues on a broader platform, mm-hmm. And on a broader canvas. And so that's why I'm here in your studio today.
And I think even though your work was away from the limelight, I think it was actually that work, the passion, which have brought so many people, 40 Nobel laureates, you said at last count, who supported you. And I actually have one of them on the phone line now, Professor Amartya Sen, a Nobel laureate, who had something to say about why he actually supported your cause. Let's just go across to Professor Amartya Sen, who joins us from London. Professor Amartya Sen, we have Dr. Binayak Sen with us in studio. I'd like to ask you why you thought you should associate yourself with his cause.
Well, I'm an Indian citizen, and in his case, I also sympathize with his cause of providing medicine to people who don't get medicine mm-hmm. from the state system. I have various times written on it. Mm-hmm. I've just in the current number of the New York Review of Books. I have a long paper about what should be done about providing medicine to the world. He mm-hmm. is a great hero from that point of view. Mm-hmm. Given that, the fact that he in particular should be wrongly accused, and the issue isn't whether he had sympathy with Maoist philosophy or not. That's not what the question is. Is he seditious? Is he preaching violence? Mm-hmm. None of which were true. So I was outraged by the miscarriage of justice and the confusion of issues mm-hmm. as to whether the Maoist philosophy has something to comment or not, which is not the issue at all. I think he is against violence, I'm against violence. The egalitarian cause. arouses sympathy across the spectrum in India.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.